You are listening to Personal Time, hosted by JRO Jumbled Radio Online. I am your host, Julian Narahana, and today is a rainy day. Oh boy, I don't like to date whenever I do these podcasts or whatever these are, but it's very strong. It's very nice to sit down at home. Welcome to Personal Time. It's going to be one of my shows that allows me to just speak whatever's on my mind, not necessarily like a educational analysis, unlike Oates. It's going to be, more like a vlog type thing, but audio. And welcome to the very first episode of Personal Time. Personal Time today will be about my recent surgery. If you did not know, friends and family who are listening, you should have known. I have gone under ACL reconstruction as well as a meniscus repair recently and am just recovering right now. I'm sitting on my sofa. This is about, I think, day 5 of recovery, and I just wanted to film this episode because I promised the people on my Instagram to send in some questions while I was high or tired or on drugs or whatever from the surgery. Mainly it was supposed to be anesthesia, but I promised them that I would answer their questions, so you will hear that today, as well as a recap of how my entire day of surgery went. I wrote down in a notepad day after surgery everything that I went through. So I experienced surgery 31st of May. I entered the hospital at 9:30. I was put into a room for admission. I met a lovely man. I think he was either Irish or Welsh. I can't really tell with the accent. I'm not so good with English, United Kingdom accents. They're not my forte as of yet, but he was very lovely. It was his first day in the hospital because he was one of the, not adjudicators. What was he? He was part of the bureau, like the hospital bureau, to see if the hospital was running well. I was admitted to Southern Cross Private Hospital. I won't tell you which one, unless there's only one. That was very fun, actually. Very nice, very clean hospital. Staff was amazing. I couldn't recommend that hospital anymore. I will also have to preface and say that in New Zealand, we get this thing called ACC, which is an accident cover. It's for everyone who is a citizen, or I think you can be a permanent resident and get it, but I'm not too sure on that. Don't quote me on it. So what happened was that my injury was an accident that happened during sports. I was playing ultimate frisbee. I was playing indoor. I was playing in a tournament called Unimates at Auckland University, and a irresponsible, dumb, no control over the body, just reckless individual. He did not care. I cannot bury this guy any more than I already want to. Um, Dove into my leg after I caught the point. I had my left foot in the end zone. My right foot was about to follow through and walk out of the end zone after the point, but this dumbass just straight up dove into my leg, expecting to get the disc that I already caught a couple of seconds, and it was just a dumb play. He's a dumbass. He should never play sports again. If he's playing rugby and diving into people's legs like that, I can't imagine. I don't even want to be on that other team anymore. I don't even want to be in the same team as him if he's going to keep injuring people and ruining people's lives, because essentially this has ruined my life for a year and a half tops. I hope you listen to this podcast, whoever you are, and I hope you know that I will never fully, or at least at this moment, I'll never be able to fully forgive you for being such a dumbass. Like, complete dumbass. Um, so, yeah. If you haven't noticed, my podcasts have been very, very jumbled, hence why the Jumbled Radio Online. There's no real structure to this. I mean, it's a personal time, so anything kind of goes, and it's more of a stream of consciousness. So, yeah, in that injury, I tore my meniscus, I tore my ACL. It was a full ACL tear, so I have no ACL I had no ACL at the moment. The meniscus tear wasn't too bad, but it was debilitating. It is debilitating, actually, because it prevented me from bending my knee as much as I could, at least to a certain degree. Um, so yeah, when I was at the hospital, this lovely Irish or United Kingdom fellow basically just walked me through the steps. It was both our first days at the hospital, which was kind of fun, which is kind of nice. Um, Not much to say. I shaved my own leg at that time. It took maybe 2 hours before someone else came back to check up on me and admit me into surgery. What was her name? The lovely nurse that came afterwards. That she had a partner who had the exact same name as me, who also had asthma. So that was just a weird coincidence that kind of kept me calm during surgery. Because little fun quotes just kind of relax me, and kind of keep me from thinking about a surgeon cutting up my knee. Apologize for the rain. I think I like the rain in terms of the ASMR sound of it, but yeah. Let's see. Yeah, she was very nice. I got admitted to the. I got asked to go to the surgical room or the waiting room for surgery at around 12. I got into the surgical room at 12. Found out that one of the nurses there knew my brother from high school, so that was a very strange occurrence. Surgery finished at 1:51, and this was about the rough part because I was in the observation room for quite a while. Um, my leg wouldn't stop twitching. It wouldn't stop spasming, which only increased the pain, which forced the nurses to put me on different painkillers to make sure that it would work and stop my leg from spasming. It still spasms now a little bit, but it's not as intense or as painful as, straight after surgery. Um, might be thunder coming soon. Shout out to Haley. She was the nurse that was hanging out with me in the observation room. She was dealing with all my bullshit. Apparently, I swore a lot. Apparently, the first thing I asked when I woke up from the surgery was the score to the Toronto Warriors game. It was game one, and the game was still probably going on while I was in the observation room. Um, yeah, there was another nurse that came after Haley's time was done. Like, she had to go home because work was finished. She was very nice. She was very patient. Again, shout out to all the nurses and the doctors and surgeons and whatnot at Southern Cross. You guys are a class act. You dealt with my bullshit pretty well. I'm pretty sure I was not easy to deal with at the time. Um, so what happened after the observation room? I was not doing well, in terms of how I was reacting with the painkillers. I was just very sleepy, not recovering well enough. They put me in day stay, which I was supposed to be in, and from there I just passed out and couldn't deal. Um, the nurse just kind of left me alone when she saw that I was asleep. I tried to watch some videos to keep myself awake and make sure that I could go home on the same day, but I just couldn't. Um, but after a while, after a couple hours, so when I got put into day stay, I think it was about 4 p.m., just about. So 3 hours in observation. 4 p.m. rolls around. I just fall asleep. I think I'm knocked out, or I wake up in and out of consciousness for maybe 4 hours. Because the next thing I remember is that it's 8:30, and the nurse is telling me I look good, I look fine, I'm acting fine. I mean, at the time I was on my phone, and nothing was really happening. I was just being relaxed, and she's like, "Oh, you've recovered well enough." Um, so at this point, I'm just sending stories to my Instagram. Um, the questions are rolling in, and I'm like, cool. Maybe I'm not as groggy or as high as I thought I'd be. Well, just to squash any thoughts or any assumptions, anesthesia doesn't really make you high. It's just a grogginess that is similar to being extremely tired and like losing your mind while you're sleep deprived almost. So that's what mostly I've experienced. There was no like euphoric high or anything that was surrounded by it. So yeah, around 8:30, nurse comes up and she's like, "Yeah, okay, now it's time for you to go. I'll call your parents. I don't think you need to stay the night as we thought." So initially, they apparently thought that I needed to stay the night because I was too groggy, and she brought me some food, and I was like, "Cool, sick. I'll eat, get some energy back, answer these questions when I get home. It's not gonna be as fun because I'm tired, because I'm not that tired, or I won't be that tired, and my parents are coming, so I should be fine." Two tiny sandwiches later, I start to just want to not do anything. I kind of want to go home. I kind of want to go back to sleep. I kind of want to throw up. I get really nauseous and really dizzy. I ask for a small bucket, and the nurse injects me with another, well, anti nausea, I think, and that kind of knocks me out for a little bit. It was at this point where they were like, "Yeah, no, this kid needs to stay at overnight, because there's no way that he can get home or be fine. He needs to be watched." Um, I get wheeled to room 39. It was honestly the worst gurney trip in the world. I think I was quoted to say it was the worst roller coaster ride ever because I was so dizzy after eating like half a sandwich. So dizzy, I couldn't deal with it. Needed to throw up, couldn't throw up. And yeah, by the time my family was there at the overnight, they just hung out for a bit. I think they left at around 9, 10. Um, which was pretty cool. They chilled out, which was nice. Shout out to them for dealing with my bullshit. Um, and then Nurse Mary was there. She was the one that took care of me and looked after me. She put the hand cannon. Oh, actually, no. The hand cannon was still on me the whole time. If you don't know what the hand cannon is, go to my Instagram, Rustlin and Writing. It's my poetry Instagram, and find the first yellow post. Initially, if you guys haven't been to a hospital or don't know, they insert this weird thing to your left hand and to your main vein. So instead of keeping you in an IV drip or anything, they just keep this little thing in so that uh, they can put drugs in you without having to make new incision. So it's the same spot that just pushes drugs in. I've never experienced it before, because again, this was like my first proper stay at a hospital, which was fun. So yeah, when the family left, after I noticed my hand cannon, um, after Nurse Mary helped out with a lot of stuff, I put SmackDown on the TV, put it on mute, looked at my phone, realized I was groggy as hell, and thought, hey, maybe this is the right time to answer all those questions. So, 11 minutes and 50 seconds into the podcast, you, my friends, get to listen to all these dumbass answers from your questions. So, enjoy.
Okay, so I promised I would do this because I like to make podcast episodes. Hopefully, I wrote myself an intro where people understand what's happening. Um, Here are the questions. Let's answer them. See all questions. Nice guys. Do nice guys finish last? No, because there's always new people up ahead to start and finish after you. Also, it's better for the relationship if the guy finishes last. This one says, turn back time to any historical event. What would it be, and would you change it? I would change Derrick Rose getting injured and tearing his ACL, and subsequently his meniscus, because I tore both at the same time, and it's not fair for someone that talented to never reach his full potential or win an NBA title, because he's Derrick Rose, man. Like, he deserves so much better than to suffer like that. At Ryan Gosling makes the best sourdough. I'm very scared to make sourdough because it's never going to be as good as his. I do eat often. My crutches, I eat a lot. I also miss eating because I haven't eaten anything yet right now. This says, do you trip on pot because you go on a trip or because you trip all over? I feel like tripping on pot would hurt. I've always wanted to put pot in a pot and smoke it. Yeah, I think you trip on because you're on a trip. It forces you to trip again. Who's the GOAT? I humbly believe it's Chris Jericho because he's old, but still making waves and still entertaining and amazing. Ian Coe's pretty good. He's considered a GOAT. Billy is a GOAT. I mean, he's an actual GOAT. And I think Michael Jordan is the best of all time. Last week of being crippled, pretty good. Apart from having one bad or serious conversation. Yeah. I also am still on team breakup, considering what they heard. I will also now say this knee every time someone asks me which knee got operated on, and my right knee will officially be called Daphne. Daphne. Myron, I doubt you even listen to this. I doubt you even actually listen to this podcast, so yeah, you don't listen because you don't want to, well. Oh, I'm tired, but I really want to get this content. So you don't listen, you just won't. I feel like you won't even get this word of the podcast. If I could be any inanimate object, what would I be and why? A hearing aid so Myron can hear me nonstop. I don't know prime numbers right now. I can barely count to 50 without falling asleep. If a cat has 4 legs and 3 eyes, and its sibling's owner, Ben, is allergic to nuts, that just sounds like a sad life, because Peanut as a cat name would be very great in terms of Peanut is such a good... Oh, Peanut. What a good cat name. My little brother was allergic to that. What is the cat's breed? Bread. What's wrong with my leg joint, and do I need a new knee? With the pun, I don't need a new knee. I will find it hard to need, because my needs are very needy right now. What else? I'm blasting through these questions. Look at me go. There's so many more. Did we go to the moon? Yeah, buddy. Of course we did. Lance, it was my anesthesiologist, and Lance Armstrong landed on the moon. So, we got to the moon, because Lance got me high enough to, well, I wouldn't even say high. Lance got me to reach my goals of getting surgery without feeling hurt, pain. Nice. Good job, you. You answered well. Who's my favorite sister? My little brother Josh. He's my favorite sister. Top 10 anime sisters of all time. Current state of WWE. All non-wrestling fans can shut off, I understand. It's just really bad. It just sucks. Vince is a grown child who doesn't want to change or to see perspective of others, but he also has too much money to not listen. I haven't watched AEW yet, but apparently it's very, very good. And it's about the wrestling, which is what I like. NXT is very good. I like NXT. NXT's the best. Honestly, they had a show, Raw, recently. This is going to date this really bad, but they had Raw happen. And the first, hour was a nothing hour. They had maybe Brock Lesnar being a piece of shit. They had Kevin Owens and Xavier Woods, or Dolph Ziggler and Xavier Woods, just brawl mindlessly throughout the building. Whilst on NXT, the first hour consisted of a really decent women's match with Mia Yim and Bianca Belair, with a good use of Bianca's hair in terms of getting a win for Mia. You got a technical masterpiece shown by Kushida and Drew Gulak, which was so dope. I loved every bit of it. Just the transitions and the fact that they made it look so real. Like the wrist control to let Kushida roll through things and not break his actual wrist was insane. And then don't even know what you had. You had the final 8 minutes. The last 8 minutes of the show was bonkers. Such a good 8 minutes. Just chaos, and it built story. Like, think about it. Jackson Riker would have been the third man in the ladder match that would have helped the Forgotten Sons win. This is all kayfabe speaking. The fact that Adam Cole and the Undisputed Era smashed him under a ladder, smashed him with a ladder, removes him from the match, and essentially evens the odds because Undisputed Era all have matches in the show. And they did that in 8 minutes. They told a great story through action in 8 minutes. Also, the final image of them just standing on the ladder. What a good image. Oh my god, what a good image. Best way to end the show. I really hope the Undisputed are successful and never break up. I hope they move to the main roster when Vince quits or retires. And I hope AEW is successful and I get to watch the shows without having to subscribe to something, because that's the one thing that put me off in New Japan, is not being able to subscribe to things. So yeah, that's me with the questions. Oh my god, I'm really tired. I was like awake enough to not want to go to no, I want to go to sleep actually. Sorry about the audio, fam. Thanks for watching, JRO. I appreciate you, even if it was just 10 minutes of pure rambling. I wish I had an outline, but I don't. Good night. Okay. I bid you, for me and the JRO podcast family, AC well. Ha. And may your problems be minuscule, and may you be drugged up the right amount. Yeah, that's perfect. Bye.
I actually haven't listened to that yet, so I'm to break some sort of thought. I'm probably gonna be listening to this while I'm editing, and I'm probably gonna cringe to my answers while editing. Hopefully the audio isn't too bad because I did it on my phone. Maybe the audio is better because I did it on my phone. But that was all your questions. That was a whole 10 minutes of me being sleepy, groggy, full of medicine and drugs just to make sure the pain in my knee goes away. Um, so I hope you enjoyed that. Just to wrap up, I slept. Found out that my heartbeat or my heartbeat was way too fast, actually, which was kind of a worry because I was relaxed and tired, but my heart was pumping really fast before I went to bed because they did check on me and they did continuous checks through the night just to make sure that I was okay. Um, the next day I got up, uh, had a struggle peeing. I got some bougie breakfast, which you could see on my Instagram. Linda was the nurse that day. She was very helpful, very nice. She's a teacher, or she has a master's in teaching, and is now a nurse. Gets paid more to be a nurse, which makes sense. She answered all the questions I had. She helped me get on my feet, and she just was a lovely send off when I got home. When I was about to leave. Shout out to Linda. Shout out to Haley. Shout out to Mary. Shout out to my surgeon. I'm not gonna call you out because I don't wanna, put your personal details out there. Simon, I'll just say Simon. I'm not gonna say your last name. Shout out to Lance, who was my anesthesiologist. I still can't say it, and I'm not even high. Um, yeah, that was the experience of me in a hospital. Me in a day stay. Me in my hotel hospital. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed the Q&A that was halfway through the episode. Be sure to listen to my other podcast episodes, my other shows. The only show that I know of right now that I've properly named is Oats. Hopefully I've released a Beneath the Mask episode by then. I hope you guys are enjoying Jumbled Radio Online. It's just a radio station where I can put audio shows just for the hell of it. I hope you guys are having a lovely day. Follow me on the socials, Julian17 on Instagram, on Twitter. You can follow me on my poetry page on Instagram, Rustlin and Writing, WRUSSLINANDWRITING. There's nothing else more to say. I hope you guys have a lovely day. Thank you so much again for listening. And yeah, this has been not personal news, that's a different thing. This has been Personal Time, hosted by Julian Arahana. This has been what? No, I'm not gonna edit that. This has been Personal Time. I'm your host, Julian Arahana. Thank you so much, JRO, for hosting this show, this podcast. I will see you guys again next time.